morning. Good to see you again. This is my second session. Okay. Thanks, Dr. Konkit, for inviting me, and he gave me to talk about the visualized evaluation. Simplicity is ultimate sophistication. I'm thinking about what I'm going to talking about to the orthopedic surgeons and then some people in here. But so it end up, this is going to be because I'm going to have the next session will be the workshop. Look like I'm gonna, because this morning I'm talking about functional tests, we'll give some example of functional tests. And what I would like to do is just technology tools that maybe can help is for the visualization. There are different update technology nowadays, even the mobile phone apps. So that's maybe introduced to anyone in here that maybe can use in the clinics later. And then toward the workshop, which will be some of those that are probably introduced here today. Okay, when we're looking at the functional test, so here is some example of the functional test. You see any difference in this, or can you detect any movement? What do you see? The knees, right? And can you see any other? I think all the clinician has been trained as have those good eyes for looking at that. So what if we have another test that was a single leg squat? So what about this? I'm talking about this single leg counter movement jump this morning, and then this is let's go. So single leg drop jump landing. So those are the difference between those drop jump and then single leg jump. I did my student did the PhD student just published the paper last year about the difference between the single leg drop jump and single leg jump. There is a difference between those, but we can choose one on that one. When we're looking at this as how do we measure the jump height? Because in the last talk, the previous talk, I'm talking about those maybe single leg jump or counter move, single leg drop jump from the research from the Aspita group. They're talking about those maybe another new measurement for rather than using the single leg hop distance. So this may be lead to how we measuring in the clinics. Typically, we have the force plate, which in the workshop we will have the wireless portable force plate. So anyone interested in the workshop then can come and then try and test it on that. Force plate in biomechanics is more like a gold standard. So we can detect the concentric impulse when they're jumping on that single counter movement jump. And then if you don't see any force, and that means during the flight time, and then on the peak force in this is a landing. I should change that to the laser pointer. So this is a landing. So in this study, they're looking at the difference between the jump height between the ACLR and then just the control group, and see the ACLR group has the less jump height. And that's concurrent with the previous study that I talked this morning, that maybe a single leg jump would be the good new measurement. But how do we measure if we don't have the force plate? This is a single leg drop jump. So for the force plate, they give more details on the concentric impulse and then the force at the zero velocity. So these are the two. There's a significant difference between those ACLR and then the control group. And then another thing is that maybe can detect from the force plate is contact time as well. Okay, so I would like to introduce some tools that we can use. Of course, that we can use the force plate. In the past, force plate is very expensive, but now you can get the force plate not too expensive. And then what is the software? Some of the company is going to be like subscription based, pay not a lot. So this is a 3D force plate. The expensive, the costly of the force plate, it depends on those how they can measuring in 3-dimensional or just 1-dimensional. Typically, if you want to measure only the vertical force, that can be used some of this force. It's not too expensive to. The Pascal one is actually in the US, they're using for teaching the high school physics. It's cost roughly about $607, and then it comes with the wireless, and then you can do like just 1D or 2Ds that you can measuring. And some of these force plates is really lightweight and portable. We bring this one today, the K event, so you can try it and see that. So the measuring the jump height and gyration force, vertical gyration force that can be used for this is very good tools for that. What if we don't have the force plate? And here's some of the research try to estimate 2D videos based on using the cameras and try to measuring the angle. For example, the thigh angle reference to the vertical line. So because it's similar to the steep landing or soft landing. If you're coming down with the steep landing, you're going to have a high gyration force. So that one is part of it. So they try to correlate this and using the video. So maybe we can use these angles. And this is a result of the force plates on different functional tests. For example, drop jump, shuffle, deceleration, triple hop, or side step cut, and then do the correlation. So the good correlation except side step cut on that. And another tools that we can use for nowadays in the clinics, we can use the mobile apps. There is different mobile apps that can take cameras, and then this camera you can be drawing where is the flight time is, then you can use that to calculate the jump height. In the market, there is like if you use iPhone, there is on-form apps, and here you can use a Dartfish or you can use the video coach. But today I'll just introduce the app. It's called Visualize application. It can be downloaded on your App Store or Google Play Store based on if you pay a subscription yearly, it's about 2,000 baht, maybe roughly $60 per year. But if you don't want to pay, because it using the cloud, try to storage your image. But if you're not using the cloud, you just skip that and then use it locally and on your phone. It's free. So basically what they can do, they can measuring the angle, they can measuring the time, but you have to scrolling down and then they can comparison. We'll do that in the workshop. If you interested, you can just go to your phone and download it right now. And another one is that it's been become more popular in biomedics, is called the OpenCap, open source, developed by Stanford University. So it's a markerless system. We know that standardized 3D motion capture is very expensive with the camera system, but now it's reduced to OpenCap video-based motion analysis. It's used, unfortunately, it's not work for Android. It's used to iPhones and just one web application. And then we can collecting data and it's go data processing on the cloud. What it gives is the kinematics data, but if you want to get more in depth, you have to export it and import it to OpenSim musculoskeletal model software, which is also the open source developed by Stanford University. Here's some of the paper Scott Ulrich is published in last year, but I'm gonna go to OpenCap right away. So this is OpenCap is example. This is from the Stanford website. So basically you will get that from the two iPhones camera and you can capture that. So I have 2 minutes, so I won't go on the detail. We can talk more on during the workshop. I'll try to show how to use this in the workshop with my student and assistant. Okay. And then the validation of OpenCap is just the paper just come out in Journal of Biomedics this year, just recently. They try to validate and using this with the ACLR. Unfortunately, the agreement is very good in the sagittal planes, but in the OpenCap doesn't have the knee joint, it's only 1D. So it's only show flexion and extension. So we have to export that and implement to the OpenSim data instead. Okay, and I talked this morning about cognitive loading. So one of the papers looking on those visualization and then try to add the cognitive loading, for example, during the volleyball blocking. So what they're doing, they just have them to calculate, subtract every -3. So just keep a random number and then just walking. What happened is in this study, bicep femoris and medius costoc is increased after the ground impact, and also rectus femoris and before and after group ground impact cognitive loading, and then the change in the force landing for the vertical gravitational force. So all this, just we can use some of the tools that is we don't have to like using high cost of to pay for that, and it's very easy to implement in the clinics that we can doing that in later. So I have about 40 seconds left. So if you are interested, come to the workshop at the end after 10. So we will try to do the tasks like single leg squat, single leg dog jump, and single leg dog jump with dual tasks. We have the two visual eye coach on your mobile phone, the apps, and we have the force plate, portable force plates. Also, we try to show you how to use the open cap on that. And the outcome measure during this is probably, we can see all those joint kinematics, gravitational force, and hopefully we can see the reactive strength index and impulse, and then also the LSI limb symmetry index between those left and right side. Join us for the workshop in the around channel. Thank you very much.